With exams, there are certain basic differences, and the difficulty or the issue in an exam class is reconciling the two. So let's have a look at some of these differences. One is input and output. In a classroom, the teacher provides input and the learners accept this and learn from it. In the exam, they generally produce output, and we'll come to a bit later to what happens to that output. But that's one of the basic differences, that classes are concerned more with input, not only, of course, learners also produce output in classes, but exams far more with output. Then there's the question of opportunities, or opportunities and an only chance. The classroom is a place where learners should have lots of opportunities to do lots of different things. We'll come to some of those in a second. An exam may not be the only single chance, but it is usually one of the important chances that a learner has in his or her role as a candidate to show what he or she can do. And depending on the type of exam, it may be the only chance or one of a very small number. Whereas in a classroom, a learner can try out and do lots of things without risking very much. The classroom is a place where learners can practice. They can practice and make mistakes. They rehearse for real life or for exams, and the exam is the performance. So connected as well to the only chance, where the learners can show what they can do, and up to that point they have to have learnt to do it. In a classroom, learners' users of a language can be creative. They can try things out. They can make mistakes. All language learning is more effective if learners are encouraged to be creative, to use language in ways that they haven't heard before or haven't used before, to try things out, to take risks, to take chances. An exam is connected with producing. Of course, you can be creative in an exam as well, but in general, an exam is a situation where candidates prefer to take as few risks as possible. In a classroom, there's often more interaction than in an exam. What learners produce in a classroom, what they create in a classroom, may often depend on the input they get from the teacher and from the other members of the class. In an exam, they react to the tasks that they're set, to the examiner, to the input the examiner gives them. It's a different form of dialogue to what happens in a classroom. And finally, perhaps most importantly, the teacher's role is quite a different one to the examiner's role. In general, a teacher is there to help learners, to help them improve, to help them learn things, to help them become better or more effective users of the language, whereas the examiner's or the marker's role is to assess, to evaluate, to judge their use of language. So quite different. And this is possibly one reason why not all teachers make good testers or examiners, and not all good testers or examiners are necessarily good teachers. The two roles may be quite different depending on the sort of work you're doing and the sort of situation you're in. But because of these differences between the class and the exam, there seems to me basically to be only one way of dealing with them, and that is, if you can't beat them, join them.